Welcome. So this is my new Capenna quick draft number 17. Should be the penultimate one. Hoping for great things. Okay, interesting. We have a Soul of Emancipation. Now I already have 4 copies of this card, so we can be flexible here. I don't have to take this for my collection. Refuse to yield. We have Obscura Charm. I played Obscura yesterday. This is quite good. Maestro's Charm, I'd say, is quite good as well. Does 5 damage. That kills most things in the set, I would say. Right, we have Broker's Initiate. Security Bypass. I actually played this for the first, probably for the first time in many games, if not the first time ever, yesterday, and I ran into 2 other decks playing this. Maybe I'm at the right ranking where this is quite popular. What I've noticed, though, it might not be an accident, there's a lot more people playing combat tricks. And combat tricks, of course, are no good at stopping security bypass. You need a blocking interaction. So good old-fashioned removal is better for taking this guy out. Such as Witness Protection does the job as removal. That's a good removal card. We have over here, though, Murder. That's a really good one. It's quite a commitment to black. So definitely you could take Murder over a Soul of Emancipation. I mean, this is quite a late game card. If I did pick this, I'd be looking to play a few treasures, try and ramp it out a bit earlier. Also, you can blow up your treasures with it to turn them into 3/3 flyers. I think you'd want to play a flying deck, so if you have to destroy some things with it on the opponent's side of the board, you can actually block their flyers. Because a 3/3 flyer is definitely not insignificant in this set. There's a few small flyers. There's not that many big flyers. There's the Echo Collector. It's a 3/4. If you connive it and discard a card. Right, but we were looking. So it's between this and Murder probably. We'll look at these. So Plasma Jockey is good. Prize Fight's pretty good. Plaza's pretty good. I mean, one argument is, yeah, I played a deck that had 2 murders recently. I think I went 2 wins and 3 losses, so I didn't do that well. Which isn't to say that Murder is bad in this set necessarily. There are shield cards, of course, where it makes it a bit less effective. And yeah, Soul of Emancipation, that's a good point. There are shield cards. I can destroy my permanent that has a shield on it. I'll lose the shield and I'll still get an angel, right? I think the point here is we know how Murder works. We're all familiar with Murder. Maybe it's a little bit more interesting to try and get Soul of Emancipation working. It's quite a big, bold card to pick, but let's build around it. Yeah, I am drafting for my collection. I do not have 4 copies of Cut Your Losses. I do have to pick this. That is the rule. This is probably the worst card in the set. Well, arguably. It's in the bottom 5. Bottom 5 least playable cards. And I have played it in a deck as well. Right, we're going to cut Your Losses from there. Right, we've got Soul of Emancipation. What's good here? We've got Parcelage Arsonist. This works very well with treasures. But this guy's in Bant colours and this is red. If we do see something, if we do see something really good in red and black, potentially we go for that and forget about Soul of Emancipation. We can always cast this with treasures. We don't need to commit too hard to the bank colours here if we've got enough treasures and things. We have the Freelance Muscle though. I think this is a pretty fantastic creature. It's funny, I was reading a tier list, and the guy was, I don't know, he put this at 2 out of 5, or 2.5 out of 5, and he was complaining about the stat line. He's going, yeah, it's a 4/4 for 5 mana, it's not very exciting. Yeah, I mean, you got to read the text on here. It gets +X/+X, where X is the greatest power and/or toughness amongst other creatures you control, right? So for yeah, if it gets through, if it attacks, it gets pumped up as well. You might get to 8/8 or 9/9. So you've got to block it, and so for all intents and purposes, it is a huge creature. It doesn't have evasion, but it's a huge creature, which is kind of useful. So I saw a guy played 2 of these against me, and they trigger off each other. He gave one a +1/+1 counter. So the 4/4/1 became a 9/9 when it was attacking, and then the other one triggers and sees the 9/9 and becomes a 14/14. Of course, then he casts the white combat trick that gives it +2/+2. If it's got a counter, it gets flying and lifelink. So 16/16 flying lifelink got through, which I couldn't block or destroy. So that was a 16-point life swing, which is a shame. I'd got him down to 8 life, but yeah, I didn't win that game, funnily enough. So yeah, I'm quite a fan of this card. This has got potential, especially if you get that second Freelance Muscle. It can get absolutely ridiculous. Stimulus Package makes treasure tokens. We've been talking about treasure tokens in relation to this. So this is another quite good card with Soul of Emancipation. This is the combat trick I was talking about, Revelation of Power. So this can give flying and lifelink to a creature with a counter. So that's pretty decent. Right, got Girdagoons there. Exhibition Magician makes treasure. There's a lot of red cards that make treasure. We don't necessarily really want to be in red, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Caldaia Strongarm puts 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature, so that's pretty awesome. Got For the Family, we've got Body Dropper, we've got Ominous Parcel for a bit of mana fixing there. So I'm going to go for another big creature. I will go for the Freelance Muscle. This is the most exciting card here. But it's got the most potential. Put it like that. So this looks quite black and red. What we've got here, Tavern Swindler, Fatal Grudge. I tried playing Fatal Grudge. It seems like it should be good because it's a cantrip. It draws you a card, but yeah, having to sacrifice a permanent turns out to be quite challenging. So it's maybe not as good as I thought, Fatal Grudge. Okay, we have Celebrity Fencer, so that can get counters. Got Hold for Ransom, which is a good removal spell, as is Run Out of Town. Capenna Express there. I nearly got run over by Capenna Express. I was down to 6 life. It was swinging in with treasures every turn. Nearly got me. We've got Halo Scarab, we've got Quick Draw Dagger. So I might be coming back around to hold for ransom. I think this is just quite good cheap removal. You could play on turn 2 if you need to. Yeah, I think let's take the removal a bit earlier here. Right, we've got Patch Up. Gathering Throng. I've never collected more than one of these. Maybe we're still in pack 1. Maybe it's an opportunity. This guy's a 3/3 flyer for 5. Bit expensive. It's Backstreet Bruiser. So we've got to think about the 2-drop slot. That's usually where you've got the most issues actually filling it out. Majestic Metamorphosis. I managed to draft 5 of these yesterday, which is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I played 4 of them in the deck, and they're fantastic. I'd say ideally you want some early 1-drop and 2-drop creatures, which you're probably going to do that in every deck. Here we've got but we could go for Gathering Throng. Maestro's Theatre we better look at. Yeah, so that does swamp some mountains, so it's not going to help us if we're going. It's looking like we're going Bant. And we've got a selection of sort of expensive creatures, 5 drops and 6 drops. We've already got 2 big creatures. I think we just have to ignore these. We know how good Majestic Metamorphosis is. I'm going to probably skip it and just try and go for Gathering Throng. It's just not something I've never managed to get working before. I'm just on a whim. I'm going to go for these. Maybe it'll work. And these are, bodies you could blow up and turn into 3/3 flyers, which would be a bit of an upgrade. We'll look at this land first. This is, again, that swamp mountain forest. No use to us. The Shattered Seraph, however, does do fix for white and blue. It's another big flyer for 7 mana. Bit expensive. Do we want to... You're going to ask, do we need 2 7-drops in the deck? What else have we got? Brass Knuckles. Never used the Brass Knuckles before, because it is sort of 6 mana to give something double strike. There's not too much scope for an equipment deck as well. There's the Ceremonial Shovel and the Jackhammer, I think, are the other ones. Boon of Safety. Yeah, Combat Trick protects a creature, puts a shield counter on there. That might be okay. Oh, Obscura Initiate's a good one. Just a solid 2/2 flyer. That's just a good one. Maestro's Initiate. Okay, so I think, yeah, we just go for the flyer here. Right, Scuttling Butler. I've never played this. If you control 2 or more multicolored permanents, the guy gets double strike till end of turn. Yeah, I've never seen this swing in for 8 damage. I think people just ignore this, usually. It's not like we've got loads of multicolored permanents. Got the Sewer Crocodile. That could be... It's another big creature. We don't really want another big creature yet. But it can be quite good, this one. It can just decide the game just by being unblockable late game. And very difficult to kill. And Warm Welcome. 3-drop gets you a citizen. That's good with our Soul of Emancipation, and it Helps us dig for our Soul of Emancipation if we're in the late game, for example. So, yeah, warm welcome. It definitely seems quite good. Okay, the land here is the Cabaretti Courtyard, so this does search for plains or forest. That's probably what we want here. There's not a lot here. I mean, this guy's good. Expendable Lackey. This works with our Soul of Emancipation. Another Sewer Crocodile. But we've got to start taking lands here. Last couple of decks, I've managed to have 6 fixing lands, and that seems to be the sweet spot. That's where I've just had very few mulligans after I've started doing that. I think we go to the Botanical Plaza here. Yep, there's a nice 2-drop creature there. There's a security bypass, which maybe I'm going to start using more. But yeah, got to go for the fixing land. Now here we've got, let's see, Cabaretti Initiate. I never pick this guy because it seems too mana intensive. High-Rise Sawjack, decent blocker. Another warm welcome, and Ominous Parcel is, I'd call this sort of emergency mana fixing. I might take one of these late if I am low on fixing lands, but I think we can take a Sawjack here. Another blocker against flyers. Seems alright. Okay, Stimulus Package. We seem... Yeah, I've not gone for red, so I think we just ignore this. Revelation of Power, Jackhammer for the family. So, I've got to ask myself, am I putting counters on things? Am I getting loads of creatures? What's more likely to happen? What's going to be a better combat trick? Maybe For the Family makes a bit more sense. But if we are in bank colours, ban are the shield token colours, so I kind of, this is more exciting to me than For the Family. I'm going to go for this one. Right, blue-black land, Capenna Express. We'll go for the 2-drop here. It looks like we're pretty short of 2 drops. That's our first 2-drop creature. Oh, we get a Metamorphosis anyway. So the bots aren't valuing this. That's interesting. That's why I got 5 yesterday, of course. And Broken Wings. Okay, that's sort of playable set of cards there. I'm going to go ahead and rare draft the Tycoon, but not play it. Right, things we can't really play. There's a backup agent. That can put counters on things. There is a second Gathering Throng. I might just pull the trigger on this one. Make sure we get at least 2. There is a decent 2-drop there, Socialite, and a really good 2-drop, Civil Servant. So we are giving up a Civil Servant to grab this Throng. But I think I've got to see what I can do with Gathering Throng. If I can get a 3rd one, then we're off to the races. Angelic Observer, expensive flyer. Cheaper if you've got citizens. Have we got any citizens? We've got 4 actually. Could be playable. But I suppose we're looking for cheap playables, 2-drops. There's a 2-drop removal here. There's the prize fight. But I've realised this Skybridge Tower's down here. I think we've got to take that with a slightly uninspiring pack. And we're halfway to the lands we need, and there's more lands here that we want. Some, reasonably good stuff here. Dapper Shieldmate, High-Rise Sawjack, both quite good, but we've actually got the perfect search land here, so That's the one we want, I think, over Skybridge Towers. Get to 4 fixing lands. And there's a Botanical Plaza there. But I think getting 2 lands per pack is pretty good. We might want to go for this Bouncer's Beatdown. It does exile things, which is quite nice. Another Metamorphosis. It's quite good. Yeah, I think I'd take the Beatdown over the Plaza here. But you can see the problem that's emerging in the deck here. We've got no 2-drops. It's all 3-drops. I don't think I can resist getting a second Freelance Muscle here, though. That's the trouble. We should probably almost certainly start taking emergency 2-drops. Raffine's Informant is a good 2-drop as well, but yeah, I've got to get this Freelance Muscle. Okay. Now we have to take every 2-drop we see, so Skycry is pretty good. This one's quite good with the Majestic Metamorphosis, so you can get a big chunk of life gain. So yeah, let's take a Skycryer. Expendable Lackey, I was saying, is probably quite good in this deck. Obscura Storefront is going to search for plains or island, so that's a legitimate option. I think I'll go for the Lackey, though. I think I need some early plays. Right, we've probably got too many 5-drops. As far as Adjudicators is a bit of extra fixing. Maybe we've got, yeah. You could probably get away with 3 5-drops and 1 expensive card, so that's probably our limit. We just take the 2-drop here. Not a fan. Never used Public Enemy before. You can imagine situations where this would be good, but when you're losing, that's not going to help you. I think it has to be Psionic Snoop here. Don't have any 4-drops at the moment. I'll take the Dapper Shield, mate. Another creature's good. Metamorphosis is good. Broken Wings is probably playable. Okay, we're grabbing this Even the Score. That'll be I think my 4th copy. We won't be able to play it because it's 3 blue is too difficult to play, and my opponent is never going to draw 4 cards, I would say, in a million years. Right, so we've got my eye is drawn to Celestial Regulator down here. This is an excellent card. Out of the Way is pretty good. I mean, that's another cantrip. Draws you a card. Backup Agent's pretty good. Another 2-drop. I've got to take the Regulator. Yeah, we're all 3-drops this deck, but what are you going to do? Right, it's another Out of the Way. I think maybe we take that one. We've got quite a selection of land here. I think, fingers crossed, we'll get one of either Obscura Storefront or Cabaretti Courtyard when it wheels around. Although, no, I could stick to my rule and try and get 6 fixing lands. I think maybe we take the Storefront here. There is an Obscura Initiate here as well, another 3-drop. Yeah, we'll take the Obscura Storefront. Yeah, so neither of these lands are any good. I actually used this counter spell for the first time yesterday, and I did counter spell a one of the 5 mana removal spells, which felt quite good. Got Take to the Streets, just to do a check on citizens. We have 7 citizens. We have a 2-drop counter spell we might want to think about. Witness Protection seems a pretty good removal spell. I think I'd prefer it to make disappear, so I'm going to take that. Some good red cards here. We've got the 5-drop removal spell, but we are playing big creatures. If you're playing big creatures, you want cheap removal spells. That's the idea. Another Sonic Snoop's not very exciting. I think this has Make Disappear written all over it. Let's grab that. Bounces Beat Down again. Caldaia Strongarm. Can blitz out for 4 mana. Bounces Beat Down's not going to be that good if we don't have many big creatures. So it says we've got 15 creatures here. Let's just have a little... I'm going to go through here. I suspect we might not play Revelation of Power. We might not play Psionic Snoop. Or the Broken Wings. What does that leave us with? Want to play all of these. So, and we've got 5 lands, so we need 2 more cards for the deck. Ideally, we want a couple of 2-drops. That would round things out nicely. How good is Bouncer's Beatdown going to be if we don't have any 2-drops? It's not going to be that impressive. I think I like Caldaia Strongarm here. Let's go for that. So yeah, it's deciding not to give me any 2-drops. I think we can't really take the Rocks Pummeler here. I don't think we can afford it in the deck. I would maybe take Boon of Safety. There's a chance we might play that. Okay, we've got some early plays here. I guess we can't really take Warm Welcome because we've got too many 3-drops. We can take a Backstreet Bruiser or a Broker's Initiate. We are potentially putting tokens on things. Backstreet Bruiser might get a chance to attack. Yeah, sources of counters we should be looking at. So 1, 2. Is it just 2? 3. Only got 3 sources of counters. So it's Broker's Initiate or Backstreet Bruiser here. Yeah, I don't see the Backstreet Bruiser attacking. at all, really. So I think maybe Broker's Initiate has the edge. Okay, well, we found a couple more things that give tokens. Another strong arm or another shield mate. I think I like the strong arm a bit more. See, we ended up with 5 fixing lands, so I think maybe we want an Ominous Parcel in this deck. Rafine's Guidance. Well, we can take an Initiate here, because he's maybe an early creature that we'll need. Another Initiate, why not? Cement Shoes. Probably not. Probably won't play this. Okay. Okay, I feel like it didn't quite come together. First of all, I'm going to cut these initiates. That puts us down to 43. Boon of Safety. Maybe we drop that one. So this is the mana curve. 4 1-drops, 5 2-drops, and then 9 3-drops. We've got a couple of 1-drops. We've got Make Disappear. I think we probably keep the Make Disappear here. And it's a question: do we really need the Ominous Parcel? Maybe we don't. We've got 5 lands, and we do have 1 Sparus Adjudicators to help fix. Maybe we can get away with 5. And we got 2 Gathering Throngs. That's not too bad. And I'm just thinking, we've got the Revelation of Power. We could try and do the trick with Freelance Muscle. We can put tokens on him with a caldaia strongarm. Then give him flying. Could be quite good. It means putting these 2 cards in, and then I've got to take out 3 cards. I tell you what, an easy cut is taking out both Gathering Throngs, because maybe 2. There's a good knowing. I've had this kind of card before, and I just seem to love to draw both of them. So I don't get any extra value, and it's just a boring 3/1 for 3. So I'm just going to easy cut, drop the Gathering Throngs. That puts us on 15 creatures still, so that's okay. It means we can fit something else in the deck. So Revelation of Power is the combo with Freelance Muscle. It's just, can we fit Boon of Safety in it so we can put a shield counter on something. What we ended up not getting was, we didn't get any treasure. We can't ramp out the Soul of Emancipation. I still want to play it in the deck. I think you can get away with one of these. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go deep into the tank and have a think about this one. So I'll call this end of part 1. Thanks for watching so far. And I'm back. Right, so after my experience yesterday, I think I with my Obscura deck, my last game I did deck out. I think, but that was a tight 40 card deck with a lot of card draw, and I just did a count. Basically, if that deck uses all of its card draw, it has to win in 18 turns before it decks out. So it's worth going right. If I'm going second, I've got an opening hand of 8 cards. You go in, you count up all the cards that can deplete your deck of cards. So not just card draw, but search lands, connive, things like warm welcome, and you can get a basically number of turns that you have for that deck to actually win before it decks out. So I think I decided. So you can notice I've gone up to 50 cards for this deck. It was at 45. I think I decided maybe I can add another 5. Because I've decided decking out is a real possibility. I feel like I can get away with 50 cards. I don't think I'm watering down the deck a bit too much. This seems okay. I think the concern would be, okay, I've got 5 fixing lands. I've got Spyro's Adjudicators. I've got Ominous Parcel. So I've got 7 mana fixing things. The more cards I add, maybe the less effective the mana fixing is, because that gets diluted. That's one argument. You can also think about the amount of removal you've got in the deck. Maybe if you're adding more creatures, you're diluting the removal, and so on. The last things I've actually added, though, I added a second Cabaretti Initiate. So it's interesting. I've decided this guy's pretty good in this deck because we do have things to pump up our creatures, so that double strike might actually be pretty good. So one of these guys and 2 Broken Wings. I don't usually play Broken Wings, but I've seen a lot more Security Bypass getting played. So that's another enchantment I could blow up. There's obviously some very nasty enchantments, and flyers are always a problem. So this card just kind of falls down against when it's just a big creature beat down or a menace beat down. But I've not maybe I've not run into that too much. It's usually been flyers or security bypass that's been killing me recently. But I think I've not. So this would be a new thing for me, trying a couple of copies of Broken Wings, going up to 50 cards, and seeing how we get on. I could even get up to 60 cards. I could add the top row here, including cut your losses and even the score. So I could kind of have this not self-mill. I could have a mill strategy with this in the deck and just try and outlast my opponent. But if I do add all these cards, these are 6 cards that aren't removal. It's sort of 4 creatures. There's a big card draw card that it's 3 blue, so it might get stuck in my hand for a while. And then the big mill card. So adding these cards would dilute the amount of removal in the deck, as well as the mana fixing. So I'm thinking 50 cards might be the right balance between the two. And I'm sure, I could, if I lose games, I'm going to think, it's because I went to 50 cards, I diluted the core of the deck. But I don't know. I think I'm okay with it. I'll have to take it on the chin if this isn't successful. But yeah, we've got a bit of removal, a few creatures. We're not the most aggressive curve here. We've got quite a few 1-drops. We're weak on 2-drops. They just I was hoping for a few late 2-drops, but they didn't turn up. So we're mostly a 3-drop deck, and then we've got some big creatures. We've got the 2 Freelance Muscle. So yeah, if we wanted to maximise our chances of getting both of these out at once, we should go to 40 cards. But maybe it's not. If my opponent's got removal or Celestial Regulators and Bounce and things to slow me down, maybe it's not quite the game-ending combo I think it is. So yeah. So anyway, the upshot is I thought 50 cards I can get away with, I think. Let's try it. And we're running the 2 Broken Wings, which I don't usually play, so that's just an adaptation. Flyers and enchantments seem to be like a bit more of a threat. Okay, net decking is cheating, apparently. Okay, now, little problem. The Obscura Storefront can't actually get us a forest. We've got no creatures, so these 3 combat tricks are useless, and we can't cast the green creature. So this hand's a bit problematic. We could sort of, fingers crossed, we actually draw into a creature. This is the nightmare when I'm playing. If I am using combat tricks, I've gone and drawn 3 of my 4 combat tricks in the entire deck, and no creatures I can cast. So this is why I don't play combat tricks. It sort of looks like it ought to be a good hand. I think I've just got to mulligan this, because it could be a while before I draw a green source. Okay, this is better, isn't it? Now, do we want... so that's our green source. That's blue and white, and that can draw us a card later. I'm thinking, do I want to put a land back and keep these 3? That's the only issue here. Yeah, okay, let's put a land back, and hopefully the Broken Wings is going to be useful. So let's go for the forest now. So first test for Broken Wings, we'll just see if it's relevant. They are playing green, which usually means ground-based creatures. Okay, Virtuoso could be a problem. I think, yeah, we won't be able to block him. Let's hold him for ransom straight away, because it's 2 damage a turn, and I'm not even building up to something that can stop that. Civil Servant. So it's got a good start. And it's a 3/4 Civil Servant as well. So yeah, this is what I was worried about, the kind of the strong ground-based attack, which Broken Wings is not so useful against. I could blow up Baraffine's Guidance, and then he can play it from the graveyard. So that's not so good. We'll get access to blue mana next turn. And we've got a little life linker to help us. And that's going to get pumped up to 4, and then we're dead in 6 turns. 5 turns. Great. But this is a deck that I can't there's no way I can really match this deck at all, because it's got really good 2-drops, three excellent 2-drops. Now, what we can do, we did draw Majestic Metamorphosis. It isn't even good enough to beat a 4/5 Civil Servant. We'd have to hit the Raffine's Guidance with Broken Wings. We could Metamorphosis now, hit for 4, gain 4 life. That is an idea. I'll play another tap land. I'm not going to block with this, so I'm definitely attacking with this. And I'm thinking, hold up mana for Make Disappear. But it looks like, yeah, we got completely rolled over this game. Really strong ground-based attack. Can't even blow up his pump thing. Elegant Entourage can make disappeared. And we are, I guess, a relatively low creature count, right? I think we've got 15 creatures in 50 cards. That's why we've only seen one creature. That's why our opening hand had no creatures, and he's getting muted because we're obviously going to have to think about what we're doing. Once we have 6 mana, we can do both of these things and potentially kill the Civil Servant. I think that's what we've got to just hope for. Attack, get a life point, end the turn. We can't sacrifice this for a card because then we'd be down a land. I guess there's an argument if I want to play my kind of deck, which is quite defensive. You need kill shot, I think, to justify this. Maybe, like at least maybe 2 or 3 kill shots. On to my turn. Let's do that. Well, we got Ominous Parcel. That does 4 damage. But we've got the combo. I call it the combo, but we're going to block now. My deck did something. At least I stopped the follow-up big creature happening. Okay, he's got exotic pets, so they're unblockable. That's pretty insane. Well, yeah, that's 3 damage getting through. And I believe we're just trading off here. So we're blocking the Civil Servant. We are doing Majestic Metamorphosis. And we'll do Broken Wings on the Raffine's Guidance, so we actually trade off. It's kind of crazy. And we kind of got there eventually. And we're still dying to these fish. And he's got a lackey as well. Okay. And Raffine's Guidance comes back and goes on the fish. Regulator unfortunately doesn't do anything. Doesn't do much anyway. Right. Yeah, okay, let's get the island. 1 life point. Right, Ominous Parcel can blow something up. 2/2 unblockable fish. Could get blown up here. So that stops 2 damage. Celestial Regulator should stop 2 damage because it stops his 1/1s from attacking as well. There is a chance we somehow get a creature with a token on it. We could potentially top deck that. So we're looking at 4 damage here. If we do the parcel, much better off killing the one with tokens because obviously he can Raffine's Guidance from the graveyard. So we'll take 4 here. Okay, warm welcome. Let's warm welcome and try and find a creature. Caldaia Strongarm. It's a creature with tokens, but we don't have time to play it. But we could blitz it to draw a card to try and draw into some removal. So maybe that is the best choice. We get a blocker. I'm going to play this guy to block the other 1/1. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe we should have waited for this. Okay, let's get some witness protection. So we may as well block and take 2. Okay, Caldaia Strongarm comes out with 2 tokens. Potentially we can give it lifelink next turn and gain some life. There's another unblockable fish. And we're dead again. Oh, actually no. So he's got another removal card. Right, my turn. Not the worst situation actually there. So we buy some time here. Attack. Revelation of Power. Does give me lifelink. Get up to 7. Right. Yeah, play the forest. Doesn't matter too much. And yeah, draw a card with the plaza, I think. Okay, got another creature. He's got regulator. Yeah, so he's got the flyer. Okay, so we don't have an answer. We'll have to use the tower to draw a card. We've got another land. Play a socialite. And it looks like we're just dead. We'll attack with this. Why not? Doesn't actually matter. Probably a good move. Hold the ransom on the Virtuoso. But yeah, unblockable fish turn out to be a problem. A pumped up Civil Servant turns out to be a problem for this deck. So yeah, we were not we were not set up well for that. We'll go straight back to looking at the deck and just think about, do we want to go down to 45 cards? Would that help at all? So this would be dropping an Initiate and dropping the Broken Wings. And dropping 2 land. Like that. I think, but I still want 45 cards for the, so we don't mill out too quickly. This is the original sort of version of the deck. I was kind of thinking these might be quite good. I don't know if this version of the deck would have won that game. Maybe the extra cards would win some other games, but we did have to mulligan, and that is a risk with more cards waters down my mana fixing. So we tried 50 cards. It was bad. That's because we had to mulligan. I think the quality of we had no chance against that deck, against that draw. I don't think that was too playable for us. And yeah, Broken Wings wasn't particularly good. It meant I could basically spend 2 cards to take out his dude. So we're good here. We've got all our colours of mana, but we're going to have a delayed start because we're going to have to dig for an island. But that's okay. We've got a choice. Do we want to Lackey on turn 2? Or do we want make disappear mana up on turn 2? I'm going to go for Lackey on 2. So we won't be able to counter his 2 mana creature. We can also play Regulator just for beatdown. I think we'll wait a turn and hold up our make disappear mana. Oh, that's a good thing to counter. So that's a really good rare. That can give him lots of treasures. Regulator for beatdown. Okay, he's got a 5/4 creature. Bounces beatdown. Okay, let's attend its socialite. That is instant speed. Right, we'll swing in with this guy. And end turn. So our plan is, yeah, bounces beatdown end of turn. So I've got trample. We could be playing into a... Okay, cancel blocks. Okay, here's the plan. Oh right, no, I'm on choose blockers. So I should have done this first, and then maybe I don't lose this creature. Okay, I'm committed. I'm going to do it. We could bounce his beat down now, which could... Yeah, I'll bounce his beat down now. There's sort of 2 potential issues with waiting until the end of turn. If he still has instant speed removal for my regulator, then that's one way of stopping this from killing his guy. So it looks like he does have something, unfortunately. Big score is what he has, so he's going to dig for something else. Okay, 2 for 1. We got a big creature out of the way. He's got Inspiring Overseer. That's a good draw. Okay. Well, we do have a way of drawing out of this. What's the best 1-drop we could draw? We could get a Cabaretti Initiate. So I think we'll just draw on his turn. Attack with both of these. Okay, Wrecking Crew. Yeah, that works. Okay, another card draw thing. So this thing's going to smash us quite quickly. We could double block here. Double block the Wrecking Crew. Take a risk. Do we feel lucky? Triple block, in fact, would kill the Wrecking Crew. Does he have a combat trick? Does he kill everything? We've got 7 toughness blocking him against 4. So if he could kill these 2. I think I'd rather try this sooner rather than later, because I've got nothing. I feel like he's as likely to draw into something as I am. Okay, that's not so bad. He has another Wrecking Crew, of course, but yeah, you make that as a sorcery. Okay. We've got this for card draw. We've got this to make a citizen. And get something good. Right. Play a plains. And we'll make a lackey. And no attacks. So, my impression right now, my deck feels very underpowered. We are getting beaten up at the moment in terms of power and toughness. So I don't regret dropping down to 45 cards at the moment. Now this thing can get pumped up to this could do 4 damage potentially. We could block the Jetmir's Fixer with everything. But we're about to yeah, I could sacrifice the citizen here. We're about to get Freelance Muscle, which it might survive. It might be a good blocker. Oh, he's got, you see, it's just hit after hit. Wrecking Crew, Rocks Pummeler. Brutal. Right. We've got Freelance Muscle, so at least that could be a 7/7. Do I play a Sky Crier? I could represent a combat trick. That might give him pause. Am I blocking with a fish? I think the fish will go in and start chipping away at his life total. Okay. So we're taking damage there, I reckon. I want to... Well, if we block the Rocks Pummeler, we should get to 7-7. That's the theory. Assuming nothing else bad happens. That can get to 5-5, so that's 9 damage coming through. At least this takes some trample off the board. But I could, if he's got nothing, right, I can just kill his Wrecking Crew here. Yeah, let's try and kill his Wrecking Crew. And I'll take 8. So if he has a Strangle in hand, he could kill the muscle post-combat. Would have been true if he had... Okay, Rocco. What's he going to look for? The classic is to look for Lagrella, the Magpie, and take something out. But he'd probably done that pre-combat on my muscle. Okay, it's a Death Toucher. Okay, we've got a good combination here. Right, Sky Crier, Majestic Metamorphosis does work. Also, Freelance Muscle will get to 8-8 if something else is getting metamorphosized. I'll tell you what, I'm going to hold back the fish to block Rocco because he is a 1 toughness dude. And turn. Ah, he's got hold for ransom. And he can only pay this as a sorcery. So yeah, he top decked removal. Nothing I can do about that. Okay, well this kills me, right? Metamorphosis happens on the Sky Crier. Like that. Okay. Rocco dies to the trades off with a fish there. This is 4 damage potentially. Do we just ignore the Rocks Pummeler? So basically we're on 10 life here. He can get Death Touch and trade with the Crier. He can get to 4-4 and trade with the Crier. This... Yeah, so we should be able to trade with the Fixer here. We take 8 damage, we gain 4, we end up on 2 life. High-Rise Sawjack should survive. Yeah, we're on 2 life. 7 mana, so we'll pay 7 mana to release the Freelance Muscle here. Yeah. He will draw a card. See if it's another removal. This will get me a life point. Did we make the right decision blocking that wrecking crew first? Because I could have taken the shield off the pummeler first. Not sure. Right, no attacks, and we'll see. So he's drawn 2 cards, so we'll see if he got a removal. One of them's a land. That guy's attacking, so yeah, block with Sawjack. Oh, yeah, this is a problem for Rock's Pummeler, right? But I don't think we could afford to... Yeah, it would go down to 1, and he's got a 3/3 as well, and which also has trample. Okay, Obscura Initiate. Well, first of all, let's count our mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This guy can give me lifelink. I don't think I'll do any damage to the shielder, though. I just counted the mana, wasn't it? It was 9. Can I do that? 5 plus that. 8. But if I do that, I won't be able to give lifelink. But he's only going to trade with the shield on Rock's Pummeler, which is the problem. I think I've got to do this. See if I can get anything better. Okay, we've got Cabaretti Initiate. We've got Obscura Initiate. Okay, no attacks. So he's getting to 6/6. This has got trample as well. And he's got removal again. Yes, he top decks removal for that. Okay, good game. So yeah, my deck is now feeling just underpowered. We're just getting rolled over on the ground, it feels like, but he had some good top decks there, I think, in my opinion. 0-2 could be 0-3. Do we drastically change the deck? Do we cut it down to a tight 40 cards now? And try and have the most consistent kind of rollout for the last game. We'll probably... What I feel will happen, we'll cut down to 40 cards and then we'll run out of cards. But what are the last 3 cards that I've added to the deck? Cabaretti Initiate. Okay, maybe... yeah, Boon of Safety, Cabaretti Initiate are droppable. Because we're actually on... I added 3 lands. Revelation of Power was reasonably good. So let's say we can cut these 2 and cut 3 lands. And then we've got the tight 40 card version of the deck. Maybe that's what we need to do. Right. Let's go for it. Because I think maybe Cabaretti Initiate is not the answer. I don't think it adds much power to my deck. Oh, great. We're going to play against our diamond player for our 0-2 game, and we're going to get a terrible opening hand, even though I've cut down to 40 cards. We get 3 forests. So That's going to be useless. We've got a 2-drop. We could potentially turn into treasure if it has to chomp block. That could yeah, it's horrendous. What can I say? But we've got a 2-drop, and we're drawing an extra card because we're going second. But basically it's a 4-card hand, isn't it? Can't cast any of these. Well, that we can kind of cast this, but maybe a 5-card hand. Let's mulligan. Okay, we've got perfect mana this time. I think we put this guy back. I don't know, actually. Or we could put a land back and keep a 7. No, I think... yeah, put that guy back. And then we're just going to draw land. It looks like. Okay, islands. Socialite. Okay, that's something decent. We've got Skycryer with Revelation of Power next turn. Maybe you can trade off with something. It's a 2-for-1. It's not the best play in the world. Right, we could warm welcome if we get there. Gives us a couple of options. No attacks, end turn. Okay, Jewel Thief. So another just brutal rollout. 2-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. That's going to 3-2. So thank God you're not a citizen. As if he's got a combat trick. I wouldn't put it past... Yeah, they always have a combat trick as well. They have the perfect rollout, 2 2-drops and a 3-drop, and they have the combat trick as well. Okay, we're going to have to play the 5-cost caldaia strongarm next turn. I think that's the only thing that's can do the job. We're going to get a tapped forest. I'm just going to check everything is working. Yes. And then we're going to have to warm welcome and hope he doesn't play another creature. And then we can trade off with at least the socialite. Okay, warm welcome. Okay, 2/3 creature. Could be good. Let's grab that. Block there. Another combat trick? No, not this time. We've got High-Rise Sawjack and Socialite. We've got Socialite and Majestic Metamorphosis. Or we've got Caldaia Strongarm. And that could run into some... something nasty. As could the other options, but... Do we like Socialite plus Metamorphosis to kill a Jewel Thief? Or is it a bit risky? He's got access to red now. Just trying to think, is there an instant red burn spell? Um, 4/5 caldaia strongarm. Could maybe that's good enough. Yeah, let's do it. If he's got removal, he's got removal. It's suspicious he didn't have a follow-up creature. Maybe he's got held for ransom. He's targeting it. He's got hold for ransom, of course. And another creature. And that's 5 damage. Okay. Should have known better, I guess. Right. So I could play the High-Rise Sawjack. I could play the Attended Socialite. I feel like I'm getting a bigger bump from the Metamorphosis if I play the Socialite. That's my theory. Or we play Sawjack and Socialite, but then... So we're facing down 9 damage here. Let's... Maybe the mana efficient play is High-Rise Sawjack. And Metamorphosis and try and kill the Jewel Thief and we'll take 6 damage. That's my thinking. He might have another hold for ransom here. Okay, that's not good. So that thing's going to do 1,000,000 damage. Or 6 damage. Pass to attackers. So we're going to take 8 damage. Is that citizen? That's an elf shaman. Okay. So we Metamorphosis on the Sawjack. And we do have 2 creatures to block with next turn. That's got trample anyway. We can stop 4 damage here or 3 damage here. But this is a favourable block. How are we going to stop 6 damage next turn? Because we're going to be on 1 life point. That's the problem. But that is about to pick up... Well, yeah, that's going to pick up trample as well. How do we stop 5 damage? We have to... Yeah, I'll take the favourable block and... Fingers crossed. We top deck something. I'm thinking, yeah, 7 mana, and we can't even stop all of the damage from Brazen Upstart. And we've only got 2 points of toughness in my hand. So it doesn't quite work. Just dead, unfortunately. Yeah, 0-3. Oh well. We tried something a bit different, but we kind of got a bit punished, and we just realised that I think my draft was a bit underpowered in the early game. Right. What's the best move for us? Is it to pay hold for ransom? Or play a couple of creatures? And do we pretend we've got something? No. It's interesting. So I've seen this a couple of times now. He's got a haste trample anyway, off the top. Right. So I guess we would double block that to trade off. Stop the 2 damage, and then there's this 6 damage that kills us. So he's through with like 8 trample damage. So wow, we felt really underpowered. I thought it didn't. Yeah, I missed out on decent 2-drops. I didn't realize how terrible that would be. Not having Civil Servant, for example, that would be a good 2-drop. So we just had 2/1 Halo Scarab, 2/1 Attended Socialite, and the 1/1 Skycryer. And it did worry me a bit, and then I've just got like a 1/1 on turn 1. And I guess wasn't just about turn 2. They had quite strong 3-drops as well. But when I was playing my big stuff, they always had removal for it. It was Freelance Muscle got hit with Hold for Ransom the previous game, and this time it was caldaia Strongarm. So yeah, tough set of games. We experimented a bit with numbers of cards. We went 50 cards, 45, then down to 40 to try and get more consistency in the early game. Anyway, so didn't quite work out. My dream, I'll tell you what my dream was. So what happened to me in the game, my opponent got 2 Freelance Muscles. He put a token on one of them, so I could do that with a strong arm. He used a backup agent. And then he attacked. So the 4/4 sees the 5/5 and becomes 9/9. The 5/5 sees the 9/9 and becomes a 14/14. It's got a token on it as well, so you do Revelation of Power. Becomes 16/16 with flying and lifelink, and that was the one that got through. So it's a 16-point life swing. Then I lost the next turn after that, but I didn't quite. Yeah, we didn't quite get the caldaia Strongarm dream that time. In terms of mana fixing, so the previous couple of drafts I managed to get 6 mana fixing lands. This time it was just 5 and Ominous Parcel, and we had to, in 3, we went 0/3, we had to mulligan twice in 2 of those games, and one of them was definitely because of too many combat tricks. So I thought, let's try it. My opponents seem to be playing combat tricks all the time. Let's try playing a few more. So I played the 2 Metamorphosis, the Revelation of Power, and I did have Boon of Safety as well, so 4 combat tricks. And of course I draw 3 of them in my opening hand in game 1. My first hand, so I have to ditch that one. But that's always my fear with the combat tricks. That's why I don't like them. I just I like playing 0 or 1. I really do. I am a new fan of Majestic Metamorphosis. It always seemed pretty good because you do get to draw a card. But I think maybe the combination of having a weak creature base on turn 2 and trying to play combat tricks, maybe that doesn't go together too well. The better your creature base, the better your combat tricks get, I think. Anyway, I think that's my. I was going to try and do one more of these. See how we get on. I'm pleased. If there's one thing I'm pleased about, it's how my collection is going. So I managed to get my last copy of Cut Your Losses and even the score. That's my second copy of Black Market Tycoon. So that's nice. It's good to not have to open these in any new Capenna packs from now on. So that's a little silver lining from this draft. That's my second 0/3 as well. So maybe that's only 2 from 16 is okay. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, that is a video. Thanks for watching.